These are other studies. Zygmunt, if you on the internet, his stuff's flying around all over the place. We'll talk about one of his fun studies. They did a little clip on PBS. This is an early study. Aerobic exercise showed increased blood vessels to the brain. Basically, one thing they think about Parkinson's is you hear about toxins and Lewy bodies and things, and basically exercise helps bathe the brain with oxygen, which helps decrease waste, basically. It also showed that exercise showed increased activity in the brain and increased brain cell survival factors, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now this is a cool one. Did anybody see the documentary, My Father, My Brother, and Me? Yeah. Yeah, it was on. So this research with the monkeys was featured on that. It's an excellent documentary. It's only an hour. It kind of covers an overview of Parkinson's and a little bit more kind of what's going on politically with stem cell research, but it talks about things in general, and in just an hour show, you get a great overview of what's going on. But anyway, they featured this study, and basically, in this study, they had two rhesus monkeys. One was a couch potato monkey, and one monkey was a treadmill monkey. And I don't know how many months that the treadmill monkey trained and how many months the couch potato monkey sat around. And then they basically injected it with a neurotoxin and gave them both what you would think would be a Parkinson's. The couch potato monkey had all the Parkinson type of symptoms. The rigidity, the slowness of moving. The exercise monkey moved normal. It was had hardly any effect at all. So, they're like going, aha, well, possibly, exercise is neuroprotective because, the monkey that exercised, didn't get Parkinson's, and they both got the same neurotoxin. They had a waltz group, a tango group, a general exercise group, and a group of couch potatoes. And the active group did it 2 hours a week, I think it was for 3 months. And they tested these motor factors pre and post. And as you would expect, the activity groups did way better than the couch potato group. But then the tango group did better than everybody in all factors, including retropulsion. And that was the only one that showed that. And if you think about it, tango has all the elements of the external cues we talked about. It has auditory cue. It has tactile cue because of your partner. It's purposeful movement using rhythm. So all those, they speculate, because of all those cues is why that was a successful study. So exercise, these are your goals: strength, posture, function, endurance, flexibility, and other. And we're going to kind of talk about that. So there's some study of resistive training. There's a small number of studies that suggest resistive training is effective for increasing muscle strength, endurance, and speed and equilibrium. More trials are needed. I do resistive training with my Parkinson's patients, but I do two focuses. One is on posture muscles. So I don't bother with the chest and the biceps and these muscles. I focus on the muscles that keep you tall and open. And so I do resistive training, and I'll show you some examples of the exercises. But I focus all on scapular muscles. I focus on your quads. I focus on your hip extensors, the muscles that keep you nice and tall. I also focus on speed of movement. And in the bottom, focus on speed for power. Because going from sitting to standing is a power movement, and there's a speed component to that. And that's what Parkinson's is lacking, is a speed component. So I'll try to work the speed component to make so it helps functionally too. So resistive training is good to do. It just needs to be pretty specific, for Parkinson's. Postural muscles, and then work on speed, which basically is going to be your quad and your hips. This may be it. This may be it. Flexibility, very important. And, I spend a lot of time with my patients again. Flexibility for me, posture. So I stretch the anterior muscles, the muscles that are tight for most people with Parkinson's, and actually in general, people have a tendency to be tight anteriorly. So your shoulders, around the shoulders, hips, so I really focus on flexibility, again, so you can maintain a good posture, and then also for ADLs and dressing. You have to exercise. And I guarantee you that 99% of your neurologists will tell you two things. they'll tell you to take your medication, on time, and they'll tell you to be physically active, because those are the two things that you can do. And so, so you've got to exercise, you've got to do the posture ones, because they work. It'll help keep you out of trouble. And then, we'll explore what you can do in regards to aerobic, and we'll see what the studies show to give us more guidance on that. But moving around is just simply good for you. Nobody, as long as you have the balance, you're not falling, nobody owes exercise with Parkinson's. So it's a great way to work your whole lower trunk. Balance exercise, I'll just have people try to stand on one leg. I'm going to go kind of quick because I think I'm talking longer than I'm supposed to. This is an exercise, it's a posture exercise. You'll be surprised. One thing I'll do a lot, let me see if I have it, no, is I use the wall a lot, and because everybody has a wall at home. And so one thing that you guys might want to try is if you have a space where you don't have any pictures or anything, try to stand with your heel, your cole, your shoulders, your head, all in contact with the wall. Hold that. That is a great exercise. That's a great posture exercise because it's working all these muscles. It is harder than you think. This is an example of a bridge, hip extension. Hip extensors are the muscles that keep you nice and tall. People hate these, but my two favorite exercises is Superman and airplane. Flexibility, again, posture is a big thing. By nature, Parkinson's is a movement disorder. So I kind of look at things, anything that's going to restrict your movement, we got to deal with if we can. And so if you have soft tissue tightness, then that's restricting your movement. So we'll work on stretching and try to keep you loose. I do a lot of also rotation. People with Parkinson's, because of rigidity of their trunk, lose rotation. So you want to stretch just not your arms and legs, but you really want to stretch your trunk because you want to be able to rotate, because that's how we again are designed to move. Here's a couple examples. Now, Lorraine, when we first started, she could not even get the cane maybe on top of her head. So it takes time, but you can stretch the muscles out. But you have to go slow. Stretches are different than exercises for strength. So on stretches, they need to be slow and sustained. So you want to put the muscle that you're going to stretch on stretch and hold it for a minimum of like 20, 30 seconds. Longer is better. And what happens is, if the muscle's tight and you're pulling it on stretch, you're holding it, and when you release it, it goes back, but not all the way. And then through time, you can actually, stretch it out, because Lorraine couldn't do that before. Just laying on your stomach in this position is a great stretch for your low back and your hips, because again, with Parkinson's, the tendency is to kind of drop your center of gravity, and your hips are flexed. And so this is a good way to stretch out your hips. Move It. This is the project that I've been involved in. A lot of this material is from. It was a fun project. You guys know who that guy is? Wally Famous Amos? Cookie fame? No? I don't remember. Wally's a long-term resident of Hawaii. Wally doesn't have Parkinson's, but he has two friends with Parkinson's, and he was the narrator for our DVD. And if you can't get Morgan Freeman, Wally's a pretty good second choice. Yeah. And these are just people who have been involved on it. The project was basically taking all the information that I've learned from the patients over the 20 years I've been working and putting it together and organizing. We had a lot of neurologists and therapists and patients part of the project. So, and the end.